They don't talk about him enough. And when they do, they twist the image. They water it down. They bleach it. Because if they ever showed him as he truly was, a dark-skinned general from North Africa who nearly brought Rome to its knees, they'd have to rewrite every textbook. Hannibal Barca, not just a name in ancient history, but a man whose mind shook empires. He was born in Carthage, a powerful city-state along the northern coast of Africa, in present-day Tunisia. But Carthage wasn't some random colony. It was a black civilization, rich with culture, trade, innovation, and power. And Hannibal was its chosen son. From the time he was a boy, his father, Hannibal Barca, filled his soul with purpose. He made him swear an oath to never stop fighting Rome, not just for vengeance, but for justice, for dignity, for the survival of Carthage. They tell you the story in fragments. They show you the Alps, they mention the elephants. But what they don't say is that Hannibal wasn't just marching animals. He was leading an army of resistance through one of the harshest terrains on Earth, through snow, ice, starvation, and death. He lost half his troops, but still he came down the mountains ready for war. And Rome trembled. They called him the Ghost, because he moved like one, appearing where they least expected, disappearing before they could strike. A general so brilliant, Roman mothers whispered his name to their children to scare them into obedience. Hannibal ad portas. Hannibal is at the gates. He didn't just win battles, he defied logic. At the Battle of Cannae, with fewer troops than Rome, he encircled and annihilated one of the largest armies ever assembled. He flipped the playbook, crushed Rome's ego, slaughtered their pride, and made history in silence. Because the West would rather erase a black man's brilliance than rewrite the myth of European supremacy, they show him in paintings with pale skin. They cast him in films with European features. They hide his image in shadows. Why? Because the thought of a melanated general outwitting and humiliating the so-called cradle of Western civilization shakes the very foundation of their historical lies. But we remember, we see through the fog. We know who he was. He was not just a warrior. He was an engineer, a strategist, a visionary. He spoke multiple languages, studied philosophy, and understood the psyche of men. He didn't fight with rage. He fought with calculation. Every move was purpose. Every victory was a message. And even when Rome finally pushed back, even when he returned to Carthage to defend his home, he didn't fall in shame. He fought to the bitter end. And when betrayal came, he chose to die by his own hand, rather than give Rome the satisfaction of caging him. That's not cowardice, that's control. That's refusing to let the enemy write your ending. That's a man who knew the value of narrative and refused to let them have it. So, when they try to tell you Hannibal wasn't black, when they show you diluted versions of his image, when they act like he was just a minor footnote in Rome's long saga, remember this: Rome rewrote history. We live in the shadow of propaganda, and it's our duty to bring the truth back into the light. Hannibal was not a myth, not a character. He was a master, a brother of brilliance, a soul forged in fire, a tactician who fought not just battles, but entire narratives. You don't march elephants over mountains if you're ordinary. You don't dismantle empires if you're forgettable. And you don't become the boogeyman of Rome unless you're undeniable. They erased his skin, they hid his name, but truth doesn't die, it just waits. And now the truth rises. Hannibal was ours, Africa's son, a living monument to what we are capable of. When we refuse to bend, refuse to break, refuse to be erased. Imhotep was medicine. Hannibal was war. Both were excellence. Both were Africa. Both were stolen and misnamed. But not anymore. The reclaiming has begun. We speak their names in full color now, with full voice, with soul. With reverence, let the world know Hannibal Barca walked this earth, and he was unstoppable.